If you're going through the motions in your relationships and you're wondering why you're not really feeling it, that's probably because you've shut down. You're shut down from your emotions and from your heart. You may act loving because we do that. That is a survival pattern. Let me love so that I get what I need. But you're not feeling the depth of loving inside of you. So you're going through the motions. And I speak from experience here. I used to do this in friendships. I was just reflecting on this the other day, actually, where a song came on, Neil Young song, One of These Days, started playing. And I had this memory of when I was in my mid to late 20s and listening to this song and feeling this longing for the friends, all the different people that I'd met in my life. And most of the people weren't in my life still at that stage because I had been so busy people pleasing and over functioning in my friendships that at some stage it got to be so too much in my own system. I was so angry and bitter and resentful that I would cut people out of my life. And that song was like, oh, I would just wish that I could tell them how much they actually meant to me because I was actually not showing up in the truth of who I am, who I was, not speaking my needs. Now I have gone and repaired some of those relationships, which I'm so, so grateful for, where I've sent emails and letters and actually owned my part in it. But this is the consequence, right, of pretending in relationship. Resentment and bitterness, and then often cut off, which really sucks. It's quite painful for both people because the person who you're cutting off from doesn't actually know why. They don't know why because you never told them. So when you people please, when you overfunction, when you shut down, you're masking yourself to the world. So people don't get to know the real you. They can't see the real you. And this is heartbreaking for both people. Like I have been on both sides. And on the side of the person who has shut down, I remember I just used to feel so alone and like no one ever really and truly understood me. And then when I've been on the other side of it, I just be like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. Something feels weird, but how do we even like I don't know how to talk or name it. I do now, but I didn't back then. It was hard. So we learn how to like go through the motions of relationship and love from our parents, from movies, from books. This is just how I'm supposed to show up. This is what love, what relationship actually means. But it's not the whole truth because you are an incredibly unique individual. And while you're wired to be in relationship and connection, that individuality within you is so important to bring into the relationships because who you are contributes to another person's experience in the world. If I didn't have the relationships that I had and the people to add different colorful flavors to my experience in the world, I would only see the world through my one lens. So your expression to me, like even leaving a comment on this video and sharing a part of who you are impacts me. It has an impact on my experience in the world. And so when we hide ourselves from bringing the fullness of who we are into the world, we're we're robbing people of the truth of our gifts because you have brilliant gifts to bring into relationship. So again, we are here doing that because it's what we learned in childhood. It's what we learned in movies. And this is a self-protective pattern from pain, right? And so how do we shift this? How do we get out of this resentment, this exhaustion, feeling like no one really cares as much as we do? No one really knows you. How do you get out of that? it is often the opposite of what we think needs to happen. Most of the women that I work with in my program Sanctuary, they begin by wanting to tell the other person what the other person needs to do. This actually doesn't work as much as we want it to, because we know if the other person would just do something slightly differently, then it would be okay. But what does work is coming back to self and getting really radically honest about who you are. If we hide ourselves to our people, we're hiding ourselves to us. If you hide yourself to someone, you are hiding you from you. So this takes a level of getting really honest with yourself, really deepening into your own connection with you so that you cultivate this intimacy within you about your own internal experience, about your own emotional expression, about your own beliefs. And so some ways that you can begin doing this is it's an inventory at first. It begins kind of as an inventory, and it's a flowing inventory. Let's call it that. So first, you want to get really clear around when you're saying yes to something or someone, when you really want to say no, or the opposite, when you're saying no, when you really want to say yes. Or you really want to say, I need some time for both. Because this will give you a very quick insight into where you're betraying what's happening inside for the outside, either to protect yourself or to pull a relationship closer to you. So start just noticing that as you go throughout your day. When and where are you simmering in resentment or judgment? Really important. If you are simmering in resentment, creating stories in your head, the drama triangle, I talk about this in another one of my videos. If you are doing this, that's a sign there's something going on. If you have internal judgment or resentment about people that is long lasting, we all have judgment about people. Like, let's be real, we're human. We're going to have thoughts. But if it's long lasting, there's something inside you that needs to be tended to. And then contemplating for yourself, what do you do in your life that is regularly draining? That's going to give you a really good sign of something that needs to change. And so what I recommend this to everyone, mirror work. And this can be really confronting and hard at first, but I'll tell you, this mirror work moved me through the grief around the ending of my last relationship. So what you do is you take yourself, your beautiful face, to the mirror, and you look in your own eyes, and you gaze into your own eyes. I like to just choose one eye, otherwise my eyes are going back and forth. You gaze into your own eyes, and you just look with curiosity. And I'll tell you, this was one of the most powerful things that I did when I was processing the end of my last relationship. And there was so much tangled up in that grief. There was judgment of myself. I felt very ashamed, like, another failed relationship. I sold all of my things. I have no home. Like, deep levels of shame. And as soon as an emotion would come up, grief would come up, I would walk myself to the bathroom mirror and look in the mirror. And I started to see the truth. I started to see the truth of myself, this unconditional love that exists inside of me for myself. And that's available to you too. And if this feels challenging for you at the beginning, what I really encourage is to take one hand, and while you're gazing in the mirror, place your hand on your heart. Hold yourself while you're doing this if it feels uncomfortable. It might not. You might just be like, oh my God, I love this. So go give this a try. Please give yourself this gift of seeing yourself so that you can allow yourself to be seen in other relationships. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how the heartbreak that you experience actually reveals generational trauma that you're carrying and working with through your family system.